You know, and the thing with degrees is that a lot of, you know, half my students have done degrees or are doing degrees. Oh, bro, it's a real pain point for me because it's a house deposit you're paying, and I've preached about this heaps, but I'll preach about it again until I'm blue in the face. And it's just like you're paying 40 to 70K, you're already going to be 10 years in debt. Like, if you want a studio like this, it's going to cost you 40, 70, 100K over 10, 11 years. By the time you make that money, you're still paying off your course. And there's so, you know, the internet makes it so accessible. You're learning from guys in these universities, but you can learn from the best in the world.
Absolutely.
And not just from one.
No,
you
from
can go Andrew Sheps, Jason Joshua, Chad Blake, like whoever tickles your fancy, you can go straight to the source.
Any genre,
and
anything.
You're not paying 40 to 70K. You'd be lucky to pay $1,000, $300-400 on Mix with the Masters. You get access to all the goats. So I mean, I brought myself up through the internet. I did online courses. I studied. I wrote down notes like I was at uni, and I spent all my money on gear. So yeah, I feel bad for those people that go to these courses for 3 years and then they come to me and I'm not going to say everyone, but a large percentage have no idea what they're doing. That is terrifying.
Absolutely, yeah.
You have paid 40 to 70K, you're 3 years in and you're out the door and you don't know how to mix. You don't know what the gear does, you don't know how to use plugins, you barely know how to use your DAW. You know, and if you're a producer, song composition, like there's so many elements. I just don't know what those guys are doing there.
Absolutely. I mean, I did the same. I was went to uni for 3 years, did it. I went to probably the worst uni in Australia. I'm going to name and shame them because I don't like those guys. It's the Australian Guild of Music. They've been going, like I knew more than the teacher. And when I'm arguing with the teacher about, I'm sure that's wrong, you kind of second guess yourself. I didn't go to the graduation, didn't get the piece of paper at the end.
Doesn't even matter.
But I met my girlfriend. She was, you know, I met my missus there, so that's a positive. But the only reason why I stayed was because of the social part of it. You know, there was other like-minded people, and that was the only positive thing that I could.
And this is a big issue, man. In our industry, it's super isolating.
It is, yeah.
A lot of people, you know, one of the things that really opened my mind was like, Spike, I really want to go to uni, and I was like, why? Because of the social aspect. I'm lonely, and I relate to that. I created this event called Squad Sundays because I was goddamn lonely. I was like, I just want to hang with other creatives. I'm going to make this fun. Let's get together, let's share each other's music, let's have some pizza and alcohol, keep it really intimate and fun. And the events were, you know, it was a lot of organizing. But it felt so good to be in a room with like-minded people. It was so fun, mate. Like, and I do want to run them again. I just don't have time at the moment. But I have created a new event called Song Labs, where it's I ran the first one. We're going to try and get some sponsorship from APRA next month. We'll find out. Nice, But it's basically a songwriting workshop using the methods that I've used for the last 11 years. 9 creatives, 3 producers, 3 artists, 3 top liners. We went through all these studios here. We started at MESS, which is a Melbourne Electronic School of Sound or Synthesis or something like that, a warehouse of synths. And it was just the coolest event
that sounds dope,
that I've ever been to, and I would love to run those monthly. So the thing is, like, a lot of kids are going to school because they want to be a part of something.
Absolutely, yeah. And there's nothing like when you're sitting there thinking about going to, there's nothing better than having someone over your shoulder telling you what's wrong, but you don't necessarily get that at the studio sometimes because you kind of have to do all the studio. Like I went to SAE for a bit, and they tell you everything you have to do, but then you have to do it all yourself. Like there isn't really somebody there to help you. And it's a bit like I stopped after a month or so because.
And collaboration is key, man. Like when you're working with other humans and you're going back and forth, like some of the stuff that I learnt, a lot of the stuff I learned is just through collaborating with people and seeing, like, I'll be like, you sit in the chair, you run it. And I'll go at the back, or I'll run it and you go, and just watching how people work and how they do stuff. It can be as simple as like them adding one thing to a door, which you never thought about. I remember I had one guy I collaborated with, just the way that he used crash cymbals was not something I ever did. So for me, it was like a small learning curve, but those things, actually watching people do it actively together, and the idea of Squad Sunday and Song Labs, and even Squad Sunday, a lot of people started collaborating, just opens so many doors, man, that uni doesn't always offer.